Well, this is William Ramos of ViralHero.com, and today we're at Wizard World with
Claudia Wells.
as well as now. You work with a foundation that was foster kids. Can you give us more details about how that works and
Absolutely.
what it does?
It's called Kids in the Spotlight. I'm a founding board member. We're 10 years old. What we do is we go into different foster care facilities where the kids live. And it's age 8 to 22, actually. We give them, it's a 10-week course. No one has to pay for anything.
Okay.
And we teach them how to write a script, how to come up with ideas. We teach them that they're made for great and wonderful things. Then what they do is they choose which movie, which group is going to do. They cast it, and they work on it, and I think we go in like 2-3 times a week. And then once a year, we go into each facility in one day and film. And we film it with a professional director, like huge directors,
Right.
professional crew, and they become crew members as well, craft services. And then once a year, we have a big, huge gala. And we just had ours. It's why I wasn't at the last Wizard World show. I was there at Paramount Studios, and we screen all of their films.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. Ty Burrell from Modern Family is a big ambassador, and he hosted. And we give out awards, and we dress up the kids, and we bring them there, and then we have a beautiful spread of food afterwards. It's literally like an Oscar ceremony gala.
Right.
And these kids get a form of self-esteem and worthiness that they otherwise wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to have.
Right, and from that angle of the self-esteem issue, there's lots about how foster kids don't always get to express themselves. They feel so bottled up. So this is a good avenue for them in a creative, not a destructive manner to deal with those emotions, right?
You're saying it better than I did. And their films are extraordinary. They're amazing. When you see the stories these kids are doing, some of them are fun and sweet. Some of them are so harsh and so horribly difficult to watch and so real. And it all comes out of their experiences, not made up. It's a beautiful outlet for them, and to realize that there's so many possibilities of careers in this world for them. And 3 of our kids were working at ICM all summer. It's just amazing.
It's pretty awesome. And going back to let's talk about your own films for a little bit. You've done, besides Back to the Future, you've done a couple other sci-fi films.
Yes.
Were those kind of fun at all to do? Because they weren't exactly more mainstream, but being like a small production, was that kind of a fun thing for you, or
That's
weird,
a very good question. I had never done an independent anything. I'd only done network television a lot and Back to the Future. So when I was being asked to do independent films, I was running my store since I was 25, Armani
Right.
Wells. So I would take a break and test myself. Am I still any good? Is this still a passion of mine? Do I still love it, and am I still fulfilled with it? Because my store became so fulfilling for me that I didn't end up going back to acting on my own. And each time, even though it's a small set and one guy holding a camera, and I love it like I did when I was wanting to be an actress. I'm completely fulfilled. The actual work of it, of the acting, is the same no matter whether you're on a multi-million-dollar production or a $10,000 production.
Right.
It's the same. And I'm going back to acting now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the project at all?
Yes,
or?
I can. Thank you for asking. I decided I want to go back to acting. I'm adding all these shows to my life. I'm doing my store concierge style by appointment only so I can have a life.
Right.
And then I thought, I want to act. And within 1 week, I got an email from this lovely woman who has a production company in Sweden, emailing me to ask me if I would please think about playing the Queen in her fairy tale movie. I'm like, I told her I just decided a week ago I actually want to go back to acting for real. So I said yes. It's going to film in the Czech Republic in April. It's not one of those stories where please be in my movie and it doesn't happen. It's fully funded.
Right.
And I get to play the Queen in a fairy tale in a castle.
So you get to take advantage of the backdrop and scenery. They use that for a lot of fantasy films. So you get to get kind of already in a established area. That's awesome.
I'm excited. I've never been there, and my ancestry, my great grandfather started out in Bohemia, which then became the Czech Republic.
So you can take advantage of that when you have a little time off to maybe check some of your family history there, or?
I think he left when he was about 12 and then made himself incredibly successful during the gold rush. Rather than being one of the gold miners, he sold goods to the gold miners. So,
Cool. Yeah. And since we're talking a little bit about your background, as a kid, were there any parts of fandom you liked, or the cartoons or shows that you were fans of before you got involved with sci-fi?
Brady Bunch, and Greg Brady's right next to me. Sound of Music, Wizard of Oz, Mr. Rogers. I was a Sesame Street, Romper Room, Mr. Rogers girl. And then Wizard of Oz, Sound of Music, Gone with the Wind, Flintstones, Cher. My brother had to bribe me with Barbie dolls so he could watch, no offense, Star Trek. No offense. I like family things. I like people things. I like relationship things. And I knew since I could speak that acting was my passion.
Right. And to kind of connect everything together, do you see, since you are involved with helping kids, and you said big studios are helping out, that those actors that do a lot of family films are kind of giving back more to kids as family films have become a bigger thing in Hollywood now?
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, there's family shows that are fun to watch. There's just so much violence that people are so callous to it. Kids coming up, seeing all the violence like it's normal between the video games and the films and things like that. So stories.
Right.
Even if there's fighting in it, if it's a story, I get caught up in the story of things. And actually, I'm making a documentary right now about a friend of mine who's 98 and a half years old. And she's a Spanish dancer, Inesita. She's been dancing all over the world since the 1930s.
So it's like flamenco?
It's flamenco and Spanish dancing. She still performs. She lives on her own. She was my date to the Kids in the Spotlight gala. She was my date on New Year's Eve last year. She's an amazing woman. She still teaches. So I'm doing a feature-length documentary on her.
And when we get to see that?
We're working on it right now. We're filming it. It's in the editing process. We're trying to get a hold of Martin Scorsese to do an interview with him because she starred in his NYU first movie he ever made. There's a picture of her from 1962. And he's the guy like this with the camera, and that was it was a student film. She was already in her 40s at that point, and it was called Inesita, the Dancer. And they worked on it for 4 months. It was a 4-person crew, Martin Scorsese's first project.
That is amazing.
She starred in a movie with Bob Hope in 1951 as the Spanish dancer, leading this. There was stairs behind her of 100 dancers, and she's the one in the front. And she still dances. She could move her feet faster than you and I could both clap. If we ran around the room, we would not run as fast as she when she's moving her feet when she's dancing. It's astounding.
And she's 98.
She's 98 and a half.
Wow.
Her birthday is July 11th. She'll be 99. The thing about it that's interesting is she doesn't like to discuss her age because she doesn't feel that has any significance to anything. She simply continues. She never stops. She doesn't keep going. She just continues. She dances every day. She plays the piano like a pianist, plays it every day, harpsichord every day. She teaches 3 times, 4 times a week. Every single Saturday, she rehearses with her Stamen, her guitarist. She's amazing.
So it's all part of what she does then?
It's her life.
That's awesome.
And she's a wonderful, darling friend. And the world needs to know about her. So that's a very important documentary. I'm the interviewer, host, creator.
Well, thank you for your time, Ms. Wills. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Now.